we go. Let's write out. So let me change a couple things here. Let's change that to that, and then we're good here. All right. They give you two equations, right? Yeah. Go ahead and turn the lights on. Angela, you hit that light. 2x plus 10. So plus. We are doing 24. And y equals negative 2x minus 5. So what do you know about these two lines just by looking at the two equations?
They're
parallel to each other. Right. And how do you know they're parallel to each other?
They have the same slope.
They have the same slope. Very good. All right. Now you may not have to graph these, but I think it's helpful, don't you? I'll make that a little thick. Okay. Oh, 10 figures. I can make those things smaller. I just forget how to do it. I've done it before. That's all right.
Just count by twos.
Yeah, we'll count by twos. That's a good idea. Let's just count by twos. So 10, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Negative 2 over 1. Actually, I could actually just count down negative 2 over 1. That still gives me the same slope because watch, negative 2 over 1. If I counted by, if these were by 2's, right? This would be 2, wouldn't it? And that would be 1. Would you agree? Or I could have just counted 1, 2, 1. Gives you the same exact line, doesn't it? All right. Because I could have counted negative 4 over 2. I could have counted negative 10 over 5, right? You follow me? So, yeah, it's going to give you the same thing. Let's make this red. So that looks like that. And let's just extend it out a little bit. It's a lot of bit, I know, but I was trying to get it to, I think it's not tilted exactly the way it... See, if we're off just a little bit here, then it gets way off down in here. Do you see that? But that's close enough. It doesn't have to be exact. Negative 5. Oh, so negative 5 would be what? Negative 2.5, right? 1, 2.5. Am I right? Right there. And then the slope is still the same exact thing. If I wanted to, just to make this nice, you can't do this, but I can copy and paste. All right, so it would look like that. Agree? Yes? Okay. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to find the distance between these two parallel lines, aren't we? Let's go in other colors because it's pretty purple. We could go from here to here, couldn't we? Or you could go down from here to here. Which one?
Top one.
The top one? Okay. Is that what you said? Top? Okay. So let's go from here to here. Now, does that look kind of perpendicular? That's good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to give a general idea what's going on, just so I can visualize what's happening. Because sometimes with all these numbers flying around and you got all these, equations with slopes and equation of a line and point, slope, intercept, and slope, well, whatever all the other names are. If you have all that stuff, it gets a little confusing from time to time. So what are we going to do? Well, we know this point right here, don't we? What is that point? 0, 10, isn't it? All right. And we don't know this point right here. And that's what we're trying to find. So we don't know what it is. I'll call it XY. Everybody okay with that? I don't know. I might be able to make an educated guess where it is, but I don't want to do that. And why did I care about those 2 points? Because what am I trying to do to this? I'm trying to find the what? I'm trying to find the distance between those 2 points. Agreed? And they have to be perpendicular. Why do they have to be perpendicular? Because the distance between one line and another line is that perpendicular distance. Okay, we defined it to be that way. So it's perpendicular. Well, knowing that it's perpendicular, that helps me out a little bit. What was the equation of this line right here? Y equals negative 2x plus 10, right? Well, what did that tell me about this line? It tells me the slope. So the slope of this line right here is negative 2. So what does that tell me about this purple line? So what's the slope of the purple line then? Positive 1/2. That's right. It's positive 1/2. because they're perpendicular to each other. Remember, the slopes are negative reciprocals if they're perpendicular. Remember that? So we flip it and we change the sign. It was negative 2, now it's positive 1 over 2. Everybody okay with that, right? This line right here, this purple line. See where the arrow is pointing right to that line right there. Okay? So this line right here, the slope of it is 1/2. Why do I even care about the slope of that line? Because I'm trying to find the equation of that line. All right? So how can I find the equation of the line? Well, if I know the slope, which is 1/2, and if I know a point on that purple line, do I know a point on that purple line? Absolutely. I know that point right there. That's where I started from. So what is that point? It's 0, 10. So from this information right here, by knowing a slope and knowing the point, I could put it into point-slope form, but I'm just going to use slope-intercept. I use that most of the time. Okay? So I'm going to put it into this. All right? Actually, I already know one thing. Actually, I know everything. I don't even have to do any math on this. I know what it is. Because look, I know the slope, so that's halfway done, and I know the what? The y-intercept. So I can just write that formula down. So what is it? Y equals 1/2 x plus 10. Good. So that's the equation of that purple line right there. Well, I already know this, the equation of that red line. What is that? Y equals negative 2x plus 10. Agreed? Why do I care about the equations of both of those lines? Because they're both equal to what? Each other. They're both equal to y. This is equal to y. This is equal to y. So this point right here, I want you to understand why I can set them equal to each other. Sometimes especially looking at that quiz that I graded last night, when I looked at that, I was like, I don't think these kids are really, well, some of them anyway, are understanding why you're doing what you're doing. You're just going like a little robot, just going through the motions because I told you to do this step, do that step. I want you to know why you're doing what you're doing. Look at this point. This point right here is at the intersection of the purple and the red line. Do you see it? So they share, both of those lines share the same x and y. So the x and y that's common that's on this purple line is the same x and y that's on the red line. That means the x on this purple one has got to be the same as the x on the red one. You see it? And the y on the purple one has got to be the same as the y on the red one. Right? They're the same exact number. So that means that this has got to equal this, because they both equal y, whatever that point is right there. Does that make any sense? So that's why we set them equal to each other, because that's the common point of intersection between those two lines. So that way I can solve for x and y. So let's do that. Let's set them equal to each other. So it's 1/2. Let's do that in a different color. Let's go blue. So watch, y, blue's not good. It kind of blends into those lines. Yeah, let's get a nice dark green. So let's do it again. 1/2 x plus 10 equals negative 2x plus 10. Am I right? So let's do this. Add a 2x to both sides. Subtract a 10 from both sides. What happens to the 10s? They cancel out. So what's this? It's 2.5. What's 2.5 as an improper fraction? 5 over 2. X equals what? Did I do that right? No, I didn't do it. I messed up. Where did I mess up? Right, I was stupid, okay? Which isn't the first time. So I was using this line right here, this one, and this purple one right here, because I already know this point. There's no reason to find the intersection of those two, because I already know the intersection of those two. I should have been using this one right here, okay? Sorry about that. So we'll make that one green, just so that we can see the difference, all right? So that's my fault, because I was trying to find the intersection between the purple one and the green one. Now, this green one right here, it does have a slope of negative 2. Right? And I do know a point that it goes through. What point do I know that it goes through? It goes through this point right here, doesn't it? Okay, at negative 5. So What can I get rid of now? Get rid of this one right here. All right, so now let's do this. So now it's what? Y equals negative 2x, what? Right, the green one is minus 5. Now that should work out. I was wondering why. I knew that shouldn't come out to a 0.
Is our geometry quiz on?
Yes. So there we go. Now I got it. Now I've got the green one. The intersection of this green one and the purple one is going to give me that unknown. I was doing the intersection of the red one and the purple one, right? And I already knew the intersection of it. And I would have just refound it, and that would have just been pointless. But now I want to find this one right here. So now I can go ahead and set these equal to each other. Now I'm good to go. Sorry about that confusion, but you know, that happens. It's going to happen to you probably sometime, right? So you need to know how to work through it. And that's what we just did. So let's set them equal. So 1/2 x plus 10 equals negative 2x minus 5. All right, do the same steps. Add a 2x to both sides. That'll cancel that out. Now we can get rid of this 10 by subtracting a 10, subtracting a 10. There we go. So that'll cancel out. All right, so what did we say this was? 2.5, right? Which is 5/2 equals negative what? 15. Now, how do I get rid of that 5/2? Multiply by the reciprocal. Remember doing that in algebra? So multiply by the reciprocal, and then that cancels. So x is, watch, that goes once, that goes 3 times, and it's what? Negative 6. Does that look like it's at negative 6? Absolutely. 1, 2, 3. Remember we went twice? And that's pretty close to negative 6, isn't it? So that's pretty good. Now, I got x is negative 6. How do I figure out what y is supposed to be? Plug it back in. Right, plug it back into either this one or this one. It doesn't make any difference. All right, so which one do you want to plug it back into? This one? Negative 2 times negative 6 minus 5. That's 12 minus 5, which is what? 7. All right, and there you go. So that point right there is negative 6, 7. Does it look like it's at 7? Yeah, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, it's close, right? I wasn't exact with the line, but it's fairly close. But it's definitely close to where it should be. Is that my answer, though?
No.
Nope. What do I got to do?
Take one of those.
Take those 2 points and distance formula. That's right. So let's write down my 2 points again. So it's 0, 10, and what else? Negative 6, 7. That's the one I just found, isn't it? You see that? That's the whole reason I went through all that stuff right there, is just to find that point. Found that point, now I can find the distance between those 2 points, and that's the easy part. So you should remember the distance formula. We've done it enough, haven't we? All right, so subtract the x's. So negative 6 minus 0 is just negative 6, or we could just say 6, couldn't we? 10 minus 7 is 3. So what's that? 36 plus 9, which is 45, just like I said. Sorry for the mix-up in there. No, I didn't do that on purpose, but it's actually kind of good that I did that, because you can see that, you know, I could mess up somewhere, and it was just a simple little mistake. I was taking this red one and the purple one, setting them equal to each other. I should have taken the other one, the unknown line, right? The unknown point where that line is in the purple one. And that's what I did right there. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was good to see me make a mistake. It was. 25. No, because that's not going to be on the test. I just want to stick with stuff that could possibly be on the test. Well, the distance between a point and a line could be, but
you have to graph it, but then you have to find the distance from point to
yeah, I guess I could do that. Let me just check something real quick. All right, sorry about that. I wasn't recording any of that stuff at the end. It's all written down, though. All right, so you should have written it down yourself. Sorry about that. Nobody caught it. I guess that I wasn't recording.
No, whoever goes on YouTube.
I guess they will. But anyway, there it is. I found the equation of the red line, which is 2x, y equals 2x minus 1. The purple one, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. That's how I got them. Stuck them next to each other, or stuck them equal to each other right here. Got x. Plugged it back into one of these equations, this one. I got y, and so there's that point. So that point is 2, 3. And take those 2 points, put them in here, get the square root, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Test is Thursday. Remember, I changed it to Thursday. That's the first thing I said today. All right. That's it.
Do we have anything to do tomorrow besides
Just that quiz. The quiz that I gave you is not really a quiz. It's a homework now. Okay, I changed it. So that's going to be due tomorrow. So we'll go over any other questions on this worksheet that you have and the quiz and anything else that you have. Okay, got one more day to review and that's it.